Donald John Trump was born on June 14, 1946, in the Queensboro of New York City, to Fred and Mary Trump. From the very beginning, he was raised in a household where hard work, discipline, and ambition were more than just values. They were a way of life. His father, Fred, was a prominent real estate developer, known for his ability to turn construction projects into profitable ventures. Donald spent much of his childhood observing his father at work, watching him negotiate deals, manage construction crews, and expand his growing business empire. These experiences offered him an early glimpse into the world of business and finance, planting the seeds of ambition that would later define his life. Growing up in Queens, Donald's world was a mixture of opportunity and challenge. The bustling streets, crowded neighborhoods, and competitive environment of New York City shaped his personality early on. He was energetic, outspoken, and unafraid to assert himself, a trait that sometimes led to conflicts with teachers and authority figures. Yet, these early struggles also taught him resilience. He quickly learned that talent alone was not enough. Success required determination, persistence, and the confidence to take risks. Even as a child, Donald exhibited a strong desire to stand out. He excelled in activities that allowed him to compete and lead, whether in school projects, sports, or informal ventures. At the same time, he witnessed the pressures of business and the challenges his father faced, understanding that ambition often came with obstacles and tough decisions. These lessons, absorbed in his formative years, gave him a mindset focused on results, self-belief, and the importance of seizing opportunities, qualities that would carry him through both his business career and later public life. As a boy, Donald Trump was full of energy, fiercely outspoken, and often displayed a streak of rebellion. Growing up in the bustling neighborhoods of Queens, he was constantly surrounded by the noise, chaos, and fast pace of city life, which could be both exciting and overwhelming. While his family provided a structured home, the environment outside demanded resilience and adaptability. Donald's natural confidence and desire to stand out sometimes clashed with the expectations of his teachers and peers, highlighting early on his determination to carve his own path. Recognizing that he needed a more disciplined environment, his parents enrolled him at the New York Military Academy when he was 13. The academy was strict and highly structured, with rules and routines that left little room for individuality. For a boy used to a lively city upbringing, adjusting to this regimented lifestyle was initially challenging. Yet the military environment also offered opportunities to channel his energy positively. It was at the academy that Donald's personality began to take on its signature traits: competitiveness, ambition, and a fearless drive to stand out. He excelled in sports, particularly baseball and football, where his natural leadership qualities shone. He also took on leadership roles within the school, earning respect from both teachers and peers, despite his occasional rebellious streak. Academically, he worked hard, understanding that excellence in the classroom would complement his growing confidence on the field and in leadership positions. The challenges of adapting to strict rules, balancing academics and athletics, and learning to navigate a competitive environment helped shape Donald into a resilient and determined young man. By the time he graduated from the New York Military Academy, he had developed a strong sense of self-confidence, the ability to face challenges head-on, and an early understanding that success required effort, strategy, and the courage to stand out, even in the face of obstacles. After graduating from the New York Military Academy, Donald Trump began his higher education at Fordham University in the Bronx. He spent 2 years there, gaining exposure to college life and further developing his interests in business and economics. However, recognizing the need for a more specialized education to achieve his ambitions, he transferred to the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania, one of the country's most prestigious business schools. At Wharton, Trump immersed himself in the study of economics, finance, and real estate, learning the principles that would later form the foundation of his business empire. He took courses in accounting, real estate law, and investment strategy, absorbing both theoretical knowledge and practical insights into the world of business. This period of his life was crucial, as it allowed him to refine his understanding of complex financial concepts while beginning to envision the scale and scope of the projects he would one day undertake. Even in these formative years, Donald faced challenges. His confident and sometimes brash personality drew skepticism from classmates and professors, some of whom questioned whether his bold style could succeed in the disciplined, highly analytical world of business. Yet, he was undeterred. He used criticism as motivation, leaning into his natural self-assurance and willingness to take risks. It was during this period that he began to cultivate the blend of ambition, resilience, and showmanship that would characterize his approach to both business and life. Upon graduating from the Wharton School in 1968, Donald Trump joined his father's real estate company, Elizabeth Trump and Son, which specialized in middle-class housing projects in Brooklyn and Queens. He quickly became involved in the family business, learning the day-to-day operations, managing construction projects, and negotiating with contractors. While this work provided him with valuable experience, Donald's ambitions extended far beyond the outer boroughs of New York. He dreamed of making a name for himself in Manhattan, the heart of the city's high-stakes real estate world. Breaking into Manhattan was no easy task. Donald faced enormous challenges as he sought to acquire properties in a competitive and tightly regulated market. Negotiating with powerful landlords, navigating the city's complex bureaucracy, and securing financing for large-scale developments tested his patience and strategic skills. Many of his early projects encountered obstacles, zoning disputes, rising construction costs, and unexpected delays threatened to derail his plans. Despite these setbacks, Donald remained undeterred. Critics often labeled him reckless, overly ambitious, and arrogant, questioning whether his bold approach would ever succeed in the cutthroat world of Manhattan real estate. Yet for Donald, these challenges were opportunities to prove himself. He leaned on his determination, negotiation skills, and willingness to take calculated risks, setting the stage for the high-profile projects that would eventually define his career. By navigating these early hurdles, Trump not only gained practical experience, but also developed a reputation as a fearless and ambitious entrepreneur, willing to take on risks that others would avoid. These formative years laid the foundation for his future as one of New York City's most prominent and controversial real estate developers. The 1980s marked a dramatic turning point in Donald Trump's career, as he set his sights on Manhattan, the epicenter of high-stakes real estate. Determined to leave his mark on the city, he began acquiring and renovating some of its most high-profile properties, including the Grand Hyatt Hotel and the iconic Trump Tower. These ambitious projects were more than just business ventures. They were a statement of his arrival in the competitive world of Manhattan real estate. However, success did not come easily. Trump risked vast amounts of his own capital, often leveraging loans and taking on enormous financial exposure to bring his visions to life. The projects were fraught with challenges. Construction delays, budget overruns, and disputes with contractors threatened to derail his plans. He also faced lawsuits and intense scrutiny from the media, which frequently criticized his brash personality and questioned the feasibility of his ambitious projects. Despite these obstacles, Trump's resilience and self-confidence proved invaluable. He embraced controversy and used media attention to his advantage, positioning himself as a bold, fearless visionary. Through careful negotiations, aggressive marketing, and a relentless drive to succeed, he overcame early setbacks and solidified his reputation as one of Manhattan's most prominent developers. The 1980s were a period of both immense risk and immense reward, demonstrating Trump's ability to navigate high-pressure challenges while building the public persona that would become inseparable from his business success. The 1990s brought some of the most severe trials of Donald Trump's career, testing both his financial acumen and his resilience. Several of his high-profile ventures, including Atlantic City casinos and major hotel properties, faced serious financial difficulties, with some teetering on the brink of bankruptcy. The aggressive expansion and high leverage that had fueled his rise in the 1980s now posed immense risks, and the media was quick to highlight his struggles, portraying him as reckless and overextended. Critics questioned whether he could survive the financial storms, and even some of his closest business allies began to distance themselves, fearing exposure to potential losses. For Trump, it was a period of intense pressure, where each decision carried enormous stakes, and missteps could have ended his career. Yet, true to his reputation, Trump did not retreat. He relied on persistence, sharp negotiation skills, and strategic partnerships to stabilize his holdings. By renegotiating debt, restructuring companies, and leveraging both his name and brand, he managed to pull many of his ventures back from the brink. This challenging period taught him hard lessons about risk management, the careful use of leverage, and the critical importance of public perception. Emerging from these crises, Trump demonstrated an ability not only to survive adversity, but to turn it into an opportunity to strengthen his empire and reinforce his public image as a determined, risk-taking entrepreneur unafraid to face enormous challenges head-on. The 1990s, though turbulent, ultimately fortified his reputation as a resilient businessman capable of navigating both financial and public scrutiny. By the 2000s, Donald Trump had firmly established himself as a household name, thanks not only to his high-profile real estate ventures, but also to his growing presence in the media. His brand, bold, flashy, and unapologetically ambitious, had become synonymous with success and risk-taking. The launch of The Apprentice in 2004 marked a pivotal moment in this transformation. The reality TV show showcased Trump as a decisive and confident leader, turning his catchphrase, "You're fired," into a cultural phenomenon and cementing his reputation as a figure of authority and business acumen. However, behind the glitz and television cameras, Trump continued to face significant challenges. He remained deeply involved in managing his sprawling empire, which included hotels, casinos, golf courses, and other ventures, all of which demanded constant attention and strategic decision-making. Legal battles, lawsuits, and regulatory scrutiny were constant companions, threatening both his reputation and his financial interests. Critics continue to question his methods, often highlighting the controversies surrounding his business dealings and his sometimes polarizing public persona. Despite these pressures, Trump skillfully leveraged his media presence to his advantage. He understood the power of visibility, using television, interviews, and public appearances to shape public perception and reinforce his image as a bold, results-driven leader. This period not only expanded his fame, but also strengthened his brand, laying the groundwork for a future that would move beyond business and into the political arena. The ultimate struggle of Donald Trump's life arguably came when he stepped into the political arena. Having built his identity and career in business and media, he faced a different battlefield: politics. Transitioning from entrepreneur to politician, he encountered widespread skepticism from established politicians who doubted that a businessman with no prior political experience could navigate the complexities of government. At the same time, he endured relentless media scrutiny and public criticism, with every statement and action dissected and debated on a global stage. Yet he approached this challenge much as he had approached real estate and business ventures, with confidence, boldness, and a willingness to take risks that others avoided.
Drawing on decades of experience negotiating high-stakes deals, managing crises, and cultivating a personal brand, he leveraged his outsider status to appeal to voters frustrated with traditional politics. His direct communication style, unfiltered rhetoric, and ability to command attention allowed him to break through a crowded field and gain momentum in a way that few political novices ever could. In 2016, these factors culminated in a stunning victory in the U.S. presidential election. His win was the result of a lifetime of calculated risks, relentless ambition, and enduring resilience. Qualities that had been honed from his childhood in Queens, through his early business ventures, and across decades of public and financial challenges. While his presidency proved polarizing, it represented the peak of a lifelong journey defined by bold decisions, public scrutiny, and a refusal to back down in the face of adversity. In many ways, Trump's political rise was the ultimate testament to his ability to turn ambition, controversy, and risk into opportunity, a defining trait that had shaped his life from the very beginning. Donald Trump's life stands as a testament to the relentless pursuit of ambition and the power of self-belief. From a spirited boy navigating the bustling streets of Queens to a global figure commanding attention on the world stage, his journey has been shaped by challenges at every turn, personal, financial, and political. He faced setbacks that would have deterred many, yet he confronted each obstacle with audacity, determination, and unyielding confidence in his vision. His story is more than a tale of success. It is a portrait of resilience and risk-taking. Time and time again, Trump turned adversity into opportunity, proving that controversy, boldness, and ambition are often inseparable companions on the path to prominence. Through trials and trials alike, he demonstrated a willingness to defy expectations, take calculated risks, and pursue goals on his own terms. In the end, Donald Trump's life is a vivid illustration of how persistence, self-assurance, and an unrelenting drive can shape a legacy that resonates far beyond the limits of ordinary ambition.
Where you can direct a voice, create realistic dialogue, and so much more. Edit these placeholders to get started.
If you found Donald Trump's journey as fascinating as we do, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more in-depth stories about influential figures, history, and the people shaping our world today. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Join our community and stay inspired by stories of ambition, resilience, and the power of never giving up.